Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Sahil Mahajan. So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about encrypting S3 objects. So, let's dive right into this video. So we have basically two types of encryption. Now then this again is not related just to AWS, but in general in computer science or in security we have two types of encryption. One is called encryption in transit and the second is encryption at rest. Now when it comes to encryption at transit, you basically have SSL, TLS, and you also have HTTPS. That is wherein your data is encrypted while it is being in transit. That is when, for example, you are uploading an object from your local computer to AWS. So while your file or your object is being transferred over the internet, it is encrypted using SSL, TLS, or HTTPS. That is called in transit when your object is in the network. Now, coming on, we have the second type that is encryption at rest. This basically has two types wherein you have server side encryption and you have client side encryption. Now, client side encryption basically means is that you encrypt the file locally on your system using various different encryption algorithms. It could be AES 256 or anything that you guys like. And then you send that file over the network to what we say AWS. And when AWS stores that file in S3, it is already encrypted. The other option that you have is called server side encryption, wherein AWS handles the encryption for you. So you send your file, and your file is encrypted, of course, through SSL TLS when it's in transit. But AWS receives an unencrypted version of your file, and when it receives that unencrypted version, it basically encrypts it and then it stores it in the S3 bucket. So let's move on. We're going to talk about encryption at rest in AWS. So AWS basically gives you three different ways on how you can control the encryption that takes place. The first way is SSE S3. Now, SSE basically stands for server side encryption, and S3 is basically the S3 bucket. So what this is basically S3 managed keys using AES 256-bit encryption. So if you choose the option SSE S3, basically the encryption keys are managed by S3, and basically it uses AES 256-bit encryption to encrypt your buckets. Now to tell you guys, every single object that is uploaded into an S3 bucket is encrypted by default. Every single object that you upload in an S3 bucket is encrypted by default, and this is the default option that is chosen, that is SSE S3. Now, coming on to the second option that we have over here is SSE KMS, where KMS stands for Key Management Service. So AWS has another service that is called AWS KMS. Basically, this manages the keys for you, and so if you guys, for example, say that you don't want S3 to manage the keys for you, then you can move over to the another service that is called KMS, wherein KMS will manage the keys for you. And finally, we have the third option that is SSEC, which basically means that the customer provides the keys. So the customer is responsible, or we can say the end user is responsible to create the keys, manage the keys, and provide those keys to AWS. So in the scenario, so now what's the disadvantage of SSC is basically if you have a key rotation policy set, you have to maintain that key rotation policy by yourself. S3 is a completely automated process. It is seamless. You don't need to care about anything. If you go to SSE KMS, you'll have to set a few IAM roles, IAM policies. You'll have to work into how do you want the key rotation to be and all of that. And when it comes to SSE customer, you're responsible completely related to the keys. So this is basically the three different options that AWS does provide you for encryption at rest in the S3 bucket. So now let's head right to the S3 console so I can show you guys where is the setting available and how can you enable it or disable it. So let's head right over. Okay guys, so we're back here at the S3 console. So we're gonna go ahead and create a new bucket. So in this new bucket, we're gonna basically say, I'm gonna leave everything as default as usual. I'm just gonna say encrypt YouTube video. Okay. And now when you scroll down, I'm gonna leave everything as default, but when you scroll all the way down, you will see an option that says default encryption. Now, I told you guys that server-side encryption is automatically applied to new objects stored in S3. So no matter what option you choose over here, the SSE S3 is going to be the default option that is going to be enabled. Now, for example, if you do not choose any option over here, like we're going to leave this as default. So I'm going to show you guys how can you change or modify these options once the bucket is created. But again, no matter what object you upload to any S3 bucket, it will be encrypted by default. Let's go ahead and click create. Okay, there we go. Our bucket has been created. Let's go to encrypt YouTube video. And now we're going to head back to the properties tab. We're going to scroll down. You can see we have a tab or a section over here that says default encryption. And the current encryption type is SSE S3, wherein S3 manages the keys. So we're going to go ahead and click on edit. And when we click on edit, you will see the various different options available like SSE KMS and DSSE KMS. So for example, if we want to change from an S3 manage to a KMS manage, so then what we basically need to do is we have to provide the AWS KMS key ARN over here. ARN again stands for Amazon resource name. Now in the scenario that if you guys do not have a KMS key setup, you can of course go ahead and create one. If you already have a KMS key, then you can go ahead and input the ARN over here, and AWS will automatically pull that in. So again, I have not dived into how to create a KMS key and all of that, so I'm not going to show that to you guys. We'll dive into KMS keys in a future video, but this is basically how you can encrypt objects in an S3 bucket using multiple different avenues and different options that's there. So I hope you guys did like this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, do subscribe, and do comment if there are any other topics that you guys would like me to cover. I hope you guys have a great day ahead. See ya. Take care. Bye bye.